Hey guys, welcome to the 101 in 10, where you get to see your favorite artists from around the world 101 in 10 minutes. I'm your host, Ayasha Roberson, and I'm back on the scene with another artist. This young lady has this creative style. I just like her voice and her authenticity when it comes to her music and her songwriting. She is someone that is very carefree. She has a simplistic to herself, but also a uniqueness as well. And she's able to unify both of her personalities into her songwriting and singing to have you experience her story. So it was no wonder we wanted to have this young lady on our show. So without further ado, let me help you welcome to the stage 101 in 10 fans, Miss Sarah Martin. Yay!
Hi, Asha. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Sarah, so much for being on our show. And I know that you are doing so many great things as well as this independent artist. So just before we dig into all the awards and all the things that you have done with your career, can you tell us a little bit, how did you get started as an independent artist and what were your musical influences growing up?
Yeah, so growing up, I listened to just a lot of local musicians. So I was more either listening to either like the Temptations or the Beach Boys or country radio or local musicians who I thought were like they would cover, Letters by the Bach Tops or something, and I would think that that was like their song. So I just grew up listening to a lot of local artists, and they let me get on stage, which is kind of how I
Oh,
got
that's
started
great.
in the first place. I joined my first band when I was in seventh grade. Like I auditioned because I was a part of a sixth grade talent show and they really liked my voice. So that's like where I got started with music. And really along the way, it's just been so many people helping me along the way and offering to let me get up on stage and just being super supportive.
I love it. And I feel like your voice ranges from one type of music vocality to the next. So what is your range of singing? Are you an alto soprano? Are you more on, because I feel like you can kind of dibble and dab into different types of music. So
Yeah.
where do
So
you think it'll fit?
choir, I was like soprano too,
Oh, okay.
back in the day. And now I think I would like consider myself more an alto voice. But
Okay.
every once in a while, I like to dance my voice up to soprano twos and
Oh
stuff.
yeah, you can do it too. Like very fiercefully as well. Just kind of like just do it on a note and then go back to your own little uh alto. I think
It's
that
not always been like that.
well, you know what? That's great that you can do that because I know I can't do that. So
Not yet.
not yet. But I will say, I think it's great that you can like have this musicality about your voice. And I think that's what makes your music stand out from all the rest of the artists that are out there as well, because you have this versatility when it comes to your voice. And you're able to really make those songs your song. Even if you're doing a cover song, it's your song. I'm like, oh no, boo, this is her song. That made this the original. Sarah just took it over. You need to check out her music, ladies and gentlemen, on Spotify, and then you can also follow her on YouTube so you can know what I'm talking about. So you guys can do that after the interview. So let's talk a little bit about your success as an independent artist. Can you tell us about the success stories, about winning awards, and all the great things that have come with you being an independent artist?
Um, yeah, so a lot of cool things have happened along the way. There's always it's I think that people don't realize that no matter where you are in your music career, it's always like a dance of the hills. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? I think that's something you have to be prepared for if you're
Correct.
going to be in this industry. But yeah, I mean, I got let's see, Pro Country Artist of the Year. Just recently back in my hometown, I moved back to Massachusetts and I got nominated for New England Music Awards Country Act
Wow.
of the Year too. So yeah, there's been a lot of cool things. I won a Pringle Jingle contest randomly back in the day. That was like my first huge thing in Nashville. But yeah, there's just been like a lot of a lot of cool things that have happened along the way that just show me like it's one thing to have like the industry support you, but when you can get your fans and people that aren't like the big wigs to support you, I feel like that's almost sometimes more meaningful because you know those people always have your back.
Yeah, you know what? I absolutely love that, and I absolutely love the fact that one of the things that you said is like a curve. It almost reminds me of a bell curve when you're in this industry. It's up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. But I think what keeps artists, independent artists, in this field for such a long time is that independent artists now versus 20 years ago who were independent, they really have the ones now, we really have to do all the things that other artists didn't really have to do. They actually just concentrated on their voice or
Yeah.
concentrating on singing the songs, or eventually they may have developed songwriting, but they didn't start off as a songwriter. Where
Right.
artists today, like a lot of independent artists, you're songwriters, you're performers, you're dancers, you're actresses, and I believe that's what's going to keep you so relevant in this industry because of the fact that you can do so many different things. I actually can see you like doing some musical theater as well, like writing some things as well. I just don't know. I just think that your songs are just so animated, and they're just so fun and heartfelt, and I just really really love your musical style when it comes to you as an artist, Sarah. So big up to you.
I appreciate that.
You're
Thanks.
welcome. Now, let's talk a little bit about your challenges as an artist. Can you share with the fans what have been some of your challenges as an independent artist?
Yeah. So again, I think it's all the molehills. You gotta have thick skin in the industry. You gotta be willing to hustle. If you're not willing to hustle, you're not gonna be able to make
Mhm.
this a career. Just as an example, a very relevant example, actually. So last year I moved home. I took this residency show 3 nights a week, getting paid the most I've gotten paid ever. Just
Mhm.
super excited. And then this year, the business isn't doing very well. So
Mhm.
now instead of having a residency, I'm playing 3 months or three times a month and half of what I was getting paid last year. So now it's like, okay, now we got to figure out other places to play if we're going to continue doing this. Like it's almost like we have so much freedom as like musical artists. We get to express ourselves. We don't go to the typical 9 to 5. We're able to do some other things, but there is so much work that goes into it, and because we work for ourselves, we don't we can't really depend on the income that we are getting.
Mhm.
So I think if you are going to go into it, which is something I'm working on now, is also figure out other ways that you can make yourself valuable. Just like they tell you to like diversify your investment portfolio or whatever, diversify what you're able to offer and how you're able to make money. That way, if one thing doesn't work out, you have 3 other things that you
Come
can
on.
bank on. And savings is so important. If I didn't have saved what I have saved right now, it would be a disaster.
And it's a blessing that you have this incredible knowledge, because a lot of times people get into really good deals like yourself, and then you never know, it may not work out or things may stop. And you always have to have diversity of when it comes to having different skill sets that can help you stay afloat and still maintain your lifestyle, still being this artist. So if you're a new independent artist out there and you're still on your grind, make sure you are really cultivating other skills that can help you just in case something falls through. You'll have
Yeah.
other things to fall on, and it's not like it's going to be a whole situation where you have to, you know, rearrange your whole lifestyle,
Yeah.
as a
I do think too, like making sure that like you know that you are running a business, because as artists, I know that like thankfully for me, I've been business minded my whole life,
that's a
but
good
there are a
thing.
lot of artists out there that just like aren't really sure. They don't like have the direction. So I really would suggest like make sure that you know that this is a business. Make sure you know that you're what you're worth. You know what I mean? A lot of times as musicians, because everyone pays us so little, we just assume that's what we can get. And I think that in the last 2 years, I realized that if I go to the right places, I can get paid more and people will recognize my worth.
Mhm.
So, you know what I mean? So I don't have to play 5 days a week and ruin my voice
Correct.
and then have to take time off. I can play 3 days a week, get paid what I know I'm worth. I've been doing this for 20 years, you know, and a lot of people have been doing this for so long and they don't realize that in any other career in the world, you would get a raise every
Correct.
year.
Correct.
You know, and in our world, the only person that's going to give us a raise is us. So we need to like grow a pair
Right.
and give ourselves a raise.
Correct, correct, correct. And one of the things I think, Sarah, that you have that other artists or most other artists don't have, you know your worth, you know your worth, you know the value in your music and what you can do. And you have a really good head on your shoulder. So you're not going to allow people to tell you you're going to be able to say X, Y, and Z, and you're going to be able to go to the next person. And you understand this is the music industry, not just playing music. And a lot of times, like you said, you have a business background. A lot of times artists don't have a business background. So they don't understand. It's called the music business for a reason. It's
Yeah.
really a business. So you have to be somewhat business minded first, and then the music kind of comes in after you make your deals and contracts. You gotta make sure you have some people with you, some maybe a business contract person who specializes in contracts, or maybe even an attorney to kind of give you the right legal direction as well. And I think when it comes to your music, let's get back into that real quickly. I think your music is so nice, and I just love the authenticity in your music. Now, you have quite a few songs. We can't go through all the songs today. Just too long. So when you talk about your musical style and the song Those Days, how did you come up with, first of all, I like the title Those Days for your I guess, is that your one of your singles, Those Days?
Yeah, that's the most
Okay.
recent single.
Okay. And then you have Heartbreak, which I think is such a cute song. And I know it's Valentine's Day is coming up, so I mean, like even if Valentine's Day wasn't coming up, people always have something when it comes to heartbreak any time of the year,
Yeah.
whether it's a man, it's a girl, it's your family members, your friends, your cousins, a colleague, a coworker.
Something's always going on.
Yeah, exactly. So, real quickly, can you share with me and the fans, how did you come up with the influences for those two songs? What was your creative process or behind those?
So I mean, really all of my songs just come about because I'm going through something or somebody that I know is going through something. I feel like that's like what motivates me to write songs because I feel like my purpose in life is to help people, whatever that means. I'm still kind of figuring that out. But I think music is so beautiful because it is one of those universal things that like helps everyone. You know, if you listen to a song when you're going through something, either you're connecting to it and you're like, yes, this is a song I needed to hear right now. And
Mm-hmm.
like that's the kind of songs and like the kind of music that I want to put out that somebody can listen to and they're like, yeah, this will get me through something. I know with Those Days, I actually had a friend back home. She sent me a message and she's like, I gotta be honest, she's like having a hard time right now. And I have been dancing in my underwear, screaming this at the top of my lungs. And I'm like, that is exactly why I wrote that song.
And you need that. That's like you need to emotionalize through the music. Whatever that can make you feel better about whatever you're going through, you need to be able to feel that through music, especially through your music as well. And that's why your music is so relevant and so authenticity. Ooh, I can't speak this morning. It's so authentic because a lot of times people think they're the only person going through things, and they have to realize there's so many other people that's going through what you're going through, or
Yeah.
even worse. And that's why your music is so healing. That's why your music is so relatable, and that's why you are this powerhouse. So, Sarah, can you tell the fans out there where can they go to find your music? How can they connect with you and book you for upcoming appearances as well?
Sure. So, I mean, the easiest one-stop shop would just be my website, sarahmartinmusic.com. You can find out how to book me. You can find out where all my social media is. Literally everything is there. But social media, it's Sarah Martin Music on social media as well, Facebook and Instagram, and of course, YouTube. And then, like I said, if you just go to my website, there's a booking tab, there's a music tab. It'll give you everything.
Yes, and if you book her, guys, you will be so impressed and so, I mean, flabbergasted by her musical experience. I watched quite a few of your videos on YouTube, and if she's that dynamic online, you can just imagine how she will be in person as well. So make sure you book her for your upcoming events this year. So thank you so much, Sarah, for being
Thanks,
on
Ayasha.
101 and 10. And thank you guys for tuning in to the 101 and 10, where you get to see your favorite artists from around the world, 101 in 10 minutes. I'm your host, Ayasha Roberson, and I'll be back. You never know what artist will be on the next episode. Stay tuned and have a good day. Bye.
Hey, guys.